Alright, hey y'all, it's Pete the Hulk. I'm back here in Minecraft tonight. Back here in the survival mod. I keep forgetting to mention that. Fishing gives OP loot. I'm pretty excited for tonight's episode because a lot of stuff's going on, if I can spit it out. Uh, I've made a lot of things, and a lot of changes have come to the old, farm base, my spot here in this game, in this playthrough. And I wanted to show you guys what's been going on. And the last time now if you've seen the last episode, or if you haven't, and you see this one, I definitely recommend going and checking the last one. It's called All the Loot. And it's basically going over what the fishing tier loot is with this mod. But also, it's a good show off of how the base looked before now. It was pretty barren. I had pretty much gone through and taken out all the trees, grass and everything, and made it, somewhat flat. So I could start building my farms. I had a few farms, but nothing too exciting. And I'll just stop talking about the last video and act like you've seen it from here on out. So there's a lot of new trees here. There's a lot of farms that I've built. Some machines, as the title would imply, Attack of the Machines. I really like playing with the automated stuff, the redstone stuff, and not everything needs to be redstone, but anything that can improve things to make things faster, quicker, make it a lot more efficient, And not that it necessarily has to be like particularly some massive production facility. I've seen a lot of videos on this thing called YouTube, and there's a lot of massive monster machines, and not quite ready for all that, nor is it really necessary for this kind of single player situation and for this world. So, but I do want to make some things easier for myself to keep me from having to go gather certain things or continuously chopping down and replanting a forest, for instance. I'd rather make something happen that was easier than that. Always going out to dig for coal for a fuel resource. I'd rather find something other than that to do. So, I definitely wanted to work on my fuel resources, and I focused on that, along with some other things. You might see a few beehives in the background. I'll talk about those here in a second. But right here beside me, I got a new friend. And not only do I have a new friend, but these guys both have names. This is Silk and Socrates. So, say hello to Silk and Socrates. And I have some other additions, another new addition, a new pupper, and I'll show you them in a minute. But for right now, I don't want to show you all this stuff just quite yet. Now, in the last episode, we went over the enchanting that I've been working on. And if you look down there at the bottom, you'll see I have 44 levels. So definitely want to get some enchanting done. And then I had been trying to get a second suit of armor going, a diamond set. And if possible, a netherite set. And as you can see here, boom, boom. So each with a sword. Now, everything's shiny and glowy, So it's completely enchanted. They don't have the best enchants or everything that I want on them right now. But I do have, in case I die, and I'll put my clothes back on. I do have backups. So if I die in lava and I lose everything, boom. I can come back, get right back in netherite, or get back in the diamond gear. Or if I want to go and I think I'm doing something maybe particularly dangerous in the nether or something, even though it might be nicer to have better protection, if I know there's a really good chance I'm going to die and either not be able to get my stuff back, or it's going to burn away in lava, maybe hop in the diamond gear before I take that kind of adventure. So, alright, and I added the 2 armor stands, got them fully plinked out, and then I got the 3 bookshelves in here. I remember the lamps were in here last time, but I wanted to get a little better lighting in here. And then we'll turn around now. Hold on. Boop. And there are a lot of trees where there weren't any. Now, I tried mostly to stick with the birch since this was a birch forest, and you'll see I left a lot of the really tall birch trees in here. And even as I was cutting out and taking out the forest before for firewood, charcoal, etc., and wood to build with, I got a bunch of them. So I wanted to stick mainly with birch, but I did throw in a few oak trees because I just needed some contrast in there. Listen, dude. At least he's not in my melons. And you don't have anything else. But this was an empty space here before. It was a big grassy area out front. Just the steps were here. And I bricked it over, and I threw some stone down, just some plain stone. And I put some gravel around the actual house here. We'll just kind of set it off. And again, it's kind of a goofy little house anyway. Perfect. I might go to sleep anyway. But just before it gets I get too far away from it, I had a bunch of spawn eggs for the bees from the fishing. So, but I wanted some real, actual nests. So I just planted a bunch of trees around flowers. You really just need one. So at one point, there was just like pretty much every tree around here had at least one flower beside it. And I managed to get this one here and that one up there on the hill. You see they're the color of birch. So those are the actual nests or hives. Again, they both have, I should look that up. Anyway, you can see they're set up with the smoke underneath them. The only problem is, so there's 5 of them. And I had bees at all 5 of the bees' nests, but unfortunately I didn't understand where the fire should be. And I had the fire like right underneath. And so it took me a while to figure it out too. Because I was breeding bees as well, trying to get all these hives to have it. You can have 3 bees in each hive, right? And you give 2 bees a flower, they mate, and then you get baby bee, right? And I was trying to fill up all the hives with at least 3 bees because it makes honey faster. And all of a sudden I was like, where are all the bees? And I noticed, not only, I mean, were these 2 hives empty, but I had like 1 bee in like this hive. The only hives that were decent was this one and this one. And for whatever reason, they just weren't catching fire here, but I lowered it anyway. But apparently you need to be at least like 3 bricks below. Otherwise, oh, and you can't have any, don't have a flower like right here. So I moved my flowers. I tried to bury the fires a little bit in most of the places. I try to keep these bees from setting themselves ablaze. So I lost a lot of bees. Once I got the natural ones to spawn, I got a bunch of these from the fishing village. And there's probably, I don't know, like 50 of them there. They're used for like decorations. I grabbed a whole bunch, and that's just where I moved and where hopefully my other bees will start moving into. And if I go back and do some fishing, hopefully I'll get some more bee spawn eggs. Right, this is a infinite lava maker. Now, I call this a machine, even though it's really not, there's nothing really mechanical about it. But it's just some solid bricks. that don't catch on fire, obviously, because it's lava. And these are a bunch of cauldrons, which actually are made of iron, even though they look like they're made of wood here. And dripstone that I bought from the traveling merchant. I haven't found any dripstone caves nearby or anything, so it's whatever I purchased. But you set them up underneath, and then all that's up top really is just a little trench. That is filled up completely. There's one bucket of lava for each square in here. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Alright, well. Anyway, and that is going to forever fill up with lava. So as long as I have metal buckets, this one's got water in it, but if it was empty, I can grab a bucket of lava and I can use it for smelting. And that's what this is for. This is a super smelter. And the super smelter, what it does is it takes basically whatever I throw in here. So these two are blast furnaces, right? And they smelt ore. So iron, copper, and then you can see I have some in here. And it smelts it faster than your traditional furnace, which is right here. Then we got two smokers. And smokers are for cooking food, basically, and other materials, but mostly for food. And then we've got two furnaces here on the end, and again, it cooks it faster. So if I put 64 chickens in here, and 64 chickens in here, which cooks basically, so ore is going to go slower in here, and food and that kind of stuff is also going to go slower in here. So what I'm mainly using the furnaces for, I do occasionally need to look around for bad guys. I should probably go to sleep because it's just about morning. And I want to keep the phantoms off me. Now you see there's nothing going on down here at all. I thought about doing some decorating before I did this episode. But I was just ready to make an episode. I was ready to show off some stuff and actually get some stuff done. Back up into the world here. Make sure there aren't any monsters out there. Looks good. Anyway, so again, now the levers are here for a reason, and I'll show you how that works here in just a minute. But it's a way that I can get experience from this machine. So normally what you do is you walk up to these machines, you throw in your bucket of lava or your 64 pieces of charcoal or coal, whatever you got, right? You fill it up. And then let's say I want to make, in this, I'm using the furnaces to make charcoal, right? So I throw in 64 pieces of wood. Or let's say, well, see, wood's not a good example. No, it's a good example. So I throw in 64 pieces of wood. It cooks. And there's 64 pieces of charcoal in this slot here when it's done. Turns the wood into charcoal, right? So it turns that into that. Right? So I go to grab this and I click on it like this. I'll get experience from cooking the wood into charcoal. Well, the thing is, with this setup, anything that goes over here automatically drops into this chest. And if I grab something from here, it doesn't give me the experience. But the experience is still inside the furnace. Just like it's still inside these smokers and it's still inside here in these blast furnaces. So how do you get it out? Well, you put a lever on it, right? But you can't just flick it and get the experience. That's not how it works. You actually have to put something in it while it's cooking, stop it, grab one, and you'll get all the experience that's built up in this machine. And I'll show you that here in a moment. But here's the blast furnaces. I wanted to have these this way. So I'm just lazy. It's not even necessarily about efficiency, especially right now because I'm not doing a ton. And you can see I've got some charcoal going, a very small amount. I've been cooking some food to eat, but mostly for experience. And then smelting down some ingots. I want to get some copper stuff going. But that's really not a lot of stuff. But what's nice about it is instead of having to like put a lava bucket in here, put 64 things in here, wait for them to cook, wait for that to finish, grab them, put them out, throw in I think 32 more things or something like that, and then wait for that to cook, the lava goes out, then I need to put in a new lava bucket. Instead, if you look in this hopper right here, there's a bunch of lava buckets feeding into each blast furnace. So once I put some fuel in here, I don't really think I have anything to smelt. I'll show you with some potatoes. And I've also been building, not only have I added all these trees, I went around and bone milled a bunch of the ground, but I've also built storage systems all over the place because my storage was just out of control. So let's grab a couple stacks of potatoes. Get out of here. That guy is so annoying. Alright, so we'll go to the smoker system, right? As you can see, the smoker system is running on bamboo, and I'll show you the different fuels. So, eventually, these guys will fill up. Oh, here we go. So in this chest, you can see that, so each hopper holds 5. There's 1 in each. Right. And then when I put the materials in here, it'll start cooking. And if it's a lava bucket, it'll drop down into here. I'll show you on this one. All right, I'll just show you. All right, so I'm going to put the potatoes up here in the top. Yoink. Right. You can see that they immediately started turning on. And so this chest is collected to both hoppers, so it'll start dropping them in to each. You can see them going in there. You can see how quickly it goes. And then it cooks the potato, and then you can see the potato immediately disappears, right? Wait, here it goes. Ready? You didn't even get to see it. If you look down here, we got baked potatoes, right? Same thing is going on in this one. And that's why we've got 6 instead of 5 or whatever, 3.5. But you'll see these are gone. Now I could keep checking potatoes, checking potatoes, checking potatoes, checking potatoes until basically these 2 hoppers here fill up with potatoes, and then it'll just stack up and slowly just keep funneling them in. Now, here are the 2 empty buckets. And what it did was it pulled buckets from here and here, and they were replaced by 2 lava buckets that were inside here. So everything's still full, basically. And then this chest I've got stacked full of bamboo because I grew all this bamboo, so why not? And it's really easy to collect, and I don't really need a machine for it. But we'll come over here and we'll toss these potatoes in there. And again, you see it immediately kicks on. And bamboo burns at like a ridiculous rate. So, like I said, I'm just smoking some potatoes or cooking some potatoes, whatever. But if I pull these two levers here, it's gonna grab this potato, and if I pick it up, you should hear the experience kick in. Ready? Now, I cleaned this one out not too long ago. Right here. So, not a ton of experience. We just flick it back on and everything will drop back into the chest. Now, I don't remember how long it's been since I cleared this one out. So let me see here. Yeah, I definitely got more experience out of that one than that one over here. So I should get a decent amount from this one. So I'm at like 44 and a half and some change. It just wasn't too much. But that way you don't lose the experience for what's cooking in there. But like I said, you can't just walk up and flick a lever and grab it whenever you want. You actually got to cook stuff. So if you cook like 300 potatoes on like potato number 290, it'd be good to stop the machine, grab a potato, get all your experience. Alright. I don't make potatoes. But I threw 64 and 30 something into this one just to show you that if you have a whole giant pile of potatoes in your inventory and want to cook them all at once, you don't have to do 64 at a time and keep coming back and feeding this machine. You can just run up here, throw everything in this. As long as you got spare fuel in here and in here, you're good to go. Now, this I'm excited about. So I copied this from a YouTuber named JC Plays, right? And JC Plays, again, I never know. Normally, I don't even mention the modders and or the people that make this stuff, just because they don't. I don't know if they invented, you know what I mean? Actual machine. It's just their video on it. So, like, I could build this machine. I also modified it. Uh, so I could build this machine, but I'm sure somebody already has. I could build this machine and show my modified version and be like, "Hey, look at this. This is my method machine." It's not. Like I said, I just copied someone else. But I've used a couple of his machines. They always seem to work. And a lot of times when I try some of these varying machines, I've never gotten an iron golem farm to work. So far, it hasn't worked. Whether I build it on a creative map or survival map, I can't get them to work. I don't know why. But what it does is it is a no-tick, right here, kelp machine. I got kelp. That's right. I found it out in the ocean, and I cut a few pieces, and look at here. I started a little farm right here beside my base, and then if we take a quick walk over to the fishing spot, because it is much deeper over here, I started a much larger kelp farm, right? So that's how I was getting some fuel at first before I was like, you know what, I really just need to figure out a kelp machine. Now, I've built one of JC Play's kelp machines that uses water. on my hard survival mode playthrough, which is great, But this thing is so much better. I cannot believe that I did not see this first, because I certainly would have built this first. How does it work? Well, like I said, I copied someone else's video, so I'm not really sure. Plus, it seems like magic, like a lot of this redstone stuff. Just because I'm not really sure, like... Alright, so I get certain things that are, like, mechanical, that it kind of makes sense, but... Alright, he's... Somehow... So there's that's too sticky. Like the redstone laid out makes sense, like how it makes things work, right? So this right here is a redstone clock, and when I flip this switch, it goes click, 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 and it just makes the pistons move repeatedly. This is called a repeater, okay? Back and forth. Two pistons here, two pistons up there, right? Whoops. Well, that lives there for now. Probably shouldn't use that as my pointer. Let's go with a clock. But these are two sticky pistons. And you put 2 blocks of sand here, okay, on the sticky piston, so it's stuck to the sticky part. And then you can see the sand down there. That's on top of the piston that's extended. And when it moves back and forth, for some reason with the kelp on it, and I'll show you, the piston's at the top here. Boink, boink. What did I just pick up? Nothing that looks suspicious. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, the sand moves back and forth. That's here, but it's on top of the piston, and it drags the other sand. Whoops. There's a better way to get down, Pizza. Down here underneath it. So you ready? So you can see the sand's going back and forth. And hopefully you can see the kelp is getting grown immediately over and over and over again. Why? Now the 2 signs are there to keep the water where it's supposed to be, keep the leaves flowing into the 2 hoppers here. But why does it grow like? There's no bone meal. It's not like it just instantly grows whenever that sand moves back and forth. I don't really understand it. Anyway, it goes into here. Oh, I need to let this run for a while, actually. It goes into here. Alright. Which then goes into here and fills these hoppers up. And they're full, that's why it's stacking up back here. Which drops the kelp into the smoker, which I am using kelp blocks to make dried kelp. And then the dried kelp drops in the bottom chest here. Then you can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these. And actually, I'm not going to use that one right there. I'm going to get away from the noise for just a sec. I know it's probably intense. I think there's a way to fix it in my sounds. Well, I'm gonna. So 9 stacks of 64 kelp is going to make 1 stack of dried kelp. I'm sorry. Yeah, 64, 9 stacks. Woo! Lord have mercy. 9 stacks of dried kelp make 1 stack of dried kelp blocks. Ooh, I got it out. 1 cooks 20 items. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Remind me later. Alright, so anyway. So that's 1,280 items per stack of 64 kelp blocks. Right? Now, I can toss this in here, and you can see it's going to start filtering in to this back hopper. And the cycle continues. Now, once I get to the point where basically, not only do I have these hoppers filled up, not only do I have those bottom hoppers filled up, but it's starting to fill up in the chests up above. And once it starts to fill up in the chests up above, then I have dried kelp blocks that I can use to power everything else. And then I can quit making all these stupid buckets with my iron ingots and use the lava for some other things. Right, I'm going to let that run for a while, but I'm going to step away because it is insanely loud. Alright, the other thing that's going on, the piggies are gone. Now, I've got some piggy spawn eggs. Can I be quick enough? I need to borrow these. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Did I get 2? I did. Alright. Wait. Don't do it. There we go. Hey, buddy. Hey. You. See, one's burning up right now. Get out of there. Alright, it went inside. Whew. Alright. Luckily, maybe I just made a replacement. I don't know. I don't know what to do. So, in my survival playthrough, if you put a piece of carpet over it, it keeps the smoke going, but the bees can't touch the flame. I wonder if I can make wonder if I can make it with like moss. Oh, let's see. A moss block. Maybe under nature? It is, but I don't have enough. That's fine. Not a problem. Oh, I could just get the carpet. Can I just, there we go. Nice. I'm wondering if maybe because this is organic. Let's see. The smoke's going through it. The smoke's going through it. Okay. So I may have a solution to my bees dying. Oh, that is awesome. And you finally breed these guys up. Thanks, Mr. Whatever. Anyway, I can get some more of this here carpet eventually. How many is that? 3 more, perfect. Alright. Oh, I'm so excited. I was like, how am I ever going to get any hives, really, because they just keep cooking themselves. I mean, I could do this around all of them, I suppose, but I think this prevents them from being able to touch it, no matter what. So even if they came at it down below, I don't think they can touch the fire now. I haven't really had any issues with this one, but I'm gonna cover it up as well. Oh man! All right, so I was putting white carpet over it, and it would stop the smoke. I didn't use moss, I don't think, in my survival mode. So I mean, unless it's like a change that's happened. There's already I've seen some differences between what I can do on my survival playthrough and what I can do on this one. So whenever this came out, you know what I mean? But the moss carpet is working, and that is fantastic. So now I can collect everything that I need. They're always going to stay on the smoky side. Lots of babies. I won't do that. I was going to just toss that lead in there. All right, so you can see I'm starting to build up some carrots and some potatoes. I'm not growing any beets right now because I just don't really need them, but I've got beetroot and seeds just in case I end up wanting to grow them or do something with them. But I was talking about how the piggies were gone. I replaced them with some sheep, and I just used some of the spawn eggs that I got from fishing. I just threw 4 in here, and I'm just starting, like, I'll show you, I have hardly, excuse me, any wool, but I did want to start collecting some. I'm going to need it at some point. And nope. Yep. So yeah, very little has come of that. But I can breed more sheep, and I can dye them so I can start getting some colored wool as well. And then for the rest of the organization, I just brought in a bunch of bone blocks, like all the bone blocks from the skeleton spawner, and a few bones and some bone meal and this random egg. Down here we get the wheat and the seeds, a few more sheep spawn eggs, and over here looks like potatoes and the veggies. Wool's going in there. Now these chests are still a bit of a mess. But believe it or not, they're actually coming together. Somewhat getting themed. But honestly, still a bunch of trash. But that's for another day. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. it was all I had were these chests before I did this episode. So got some lava, got some room for other stuff. We got uh, the honeycomb up here. We've got the honey down here. We've got a honey block. And then, pardon, excuse me. I'm so glad they're safe now. Poor bees. Pumpkins. And melons. Sugarcane. And paper. What else is new? Well, you may see this kelp farm, as I pointed out earlier, but this shoreline has grown. It used to be, I don't know, I guess right about here, and now it extends all the way out to here. And I've connected the land through this area and finally connected up the little island that has my portal on it. And eventually what I want to do, I want to get rid of the kelp forest here. Like I said, obviously I don't need it anymore. I'm going to get rid of the kelp forest. And then from here, right here, this is all going to get covered up with ground. I'm going to turn this into land. So I will add all of that to this area here. And I want to do that for a couple reasons. There's a machine that I want to make. I think it's going to be useful. I'm not exactly sure. I might be able to do something on this. Hey, let me turn it off for a minute. So if I take off these hoppers and I take these chests off and I change these two smokers to composters, that's going to make an infinite bone meal farm, because it'll turn the kelp into bone meal instead of smoking it and tossing it down here. And on the side here, I'm pretty sure I can build an automatic tree farm where I can basically just kind of, like, this stuff right here wouldn't be here, right? So I could basically stand here or here, somewhere in here, and just keep planting saplings and then have a dispenser or I guess I'd stand here, yeah. And I'd have a dispenser getting filled up with bone meal, tossing bone meal onto my tree, and it would grow. And then I'd have a little system set up that would push it out and get rid of the leaves. So I might be able to attach it to this. Otherwise, I'm going to have to build the machine out here. And it is pretty large, at least the one that I want to build. Now, if I build it so I can attach it to this machine, I think it'd only be maybe like 6 long. If I build it out here, I could do maybe 9, 10, even 12. What's up, pillagers? Go talk to that creeper. Bunch of jerks. Anyway, so I want the room. I might build the big one anyway. I hear ya. Because basically what it does is it'll put out, let's say it's 10 trees. Okay. So it'll push 10 trees out in a line, right? And then when it gets to the 10th slot, it'll push it forward. and you can start over, right? And then it'll do 10 more trees. Hit the end of an observer at 10, boom, push it out. Now you've got 2 stacks of 10 beside each other. 10 more trees, push it out, boom. Now you've got a stack of 30 trees. And you can put some pistons on there, and I've got a bunch of extra pistons since I took down the machine that this used to be. And it takes all the leaves off. And you can get saplings and sticks and apples and crap. But basically, you could just sit there and infinitely build up this big giant wall of wood, then come through with your axe and blah 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 blam. So I want to build that, and then over here somewhere I was thinking about building a cobblestone slash stone maker. I know, right? And then I won't ever have to go mining for just stone again. I can just stand here and do this with my pickaxe. And if I have silk touch on, I'll be able to get stone. And if I have my other pickaxe, I'll be able to get cobblestone. So that's what I like about the machines. That's why I like to build them. Now there's some I just don't really see as being quite as practical, or I just need to do some research and maybe find some more simple stuff that works kind of like this, right? And I know there's some duplication machines that you can set up as well. I'm pretty sure sand is one of them. I think this might be what's happening in here a little bit. But yeah, I think you take 2 pistons, 2 sticky pistons maybe or something. I don't know. And you smash sand together and you just get like this infinite supply of sand or something. So if I don't have to either go searching for sand out in the world and or digging off some entire shoreline, probably have to go find something that's, you know, away from my place so I don't ruin the way my place looks. You know what I'm saying? Like going over there to basically just take out that island and anything I can get my hands on. I could just have an infinite amount of sand. So I might check that out. It doesn't look like it's too difficult. Another addition, by the way. Boop, boop, boop. Finally get the jungle sapling from the trader. So I'm in the cocoa bean business. Again, just got it going here. Cookies and brown dye, anyone? Yes. That's something else I want to get going. I want to get some dyes going. But you see my hives are filling up with honey. And like I said, seeing now that my bees are going to stop burning up. As long as I get them bred, once I have 9 bees, the 10th bee should move in over here. Yay! But a ton of organization has happened. A ton of trees, grass, etc. have been replanted. It doesn't look like a barren wasteland anymore. It looks actually like, you know, a little farm. Now, if you actually go see an actual farm, you'll be surprised. There's really not a lot of trees because they need space for growing stuff. But whatever. This is Minecraft. This ain't the real world. I can do what I want. Do what I want. But yeah, I want to get some dyes going. I want to get my sheep dyed. And also just have some dyes on hand in case I want to do something else too. If I want to dye some of the white wool that I already have or something like that. Yeah. All right. I'm going to take a quick nap. after it stops lagging. There we go. And now I want to get a look around real quick. How we doing? How we doing? That's why we get the 360 window advantage, people. Oh man, the bees are out. I'm gonna use up all my flowers trying to breed these guys. Oh, good. Actually, I'm kind of glad. I think they're all babies anyway. I need some of these bees to grow up. Alright, so that's the farm and the base right now. Nothing underground changed yet. But I've been working on basically getting a bunch of stuff together. So let me see my inventory. Let's put the shield back there. Let's toss some extra buckets in here. Just want to try to get a bunch of room. Yeah, I feel like that's most of my must-haves for traveling. That'll work. That'll work. And then I'm gonna go over to the village. So if I'm going over the village, I better bring things that make sense. What, oh yeah, that's it. So I want to grab coal, and then just to get some here. Oh, that's it. That's it. That's it. All right, we're gonna have fun doing something I like to do anyway. So any tool that has mending on it, I'm going to put there in my bar. I'm not going to worry about the sword because I can go downstairs and play with that and get mending fixed. But they actually work on everything. But we're going to use the Unbreaking 3, Fortune 3, Mending 1, Efficiency 5, Netherite pickaxe to do this. I've got a lot of coal to break. That I can use for trades. And since I want to also increase the amount of smiths that are over in the village, having a lot of coal would be great, because I just ran up the stairs. I was like, how am I flying? What has happened? Alright, but as you can see, there's experience on the ground. If I want to, I can switch to something else that has mending. And maybe get the little buff from that. Now, normally what I do is I just do it while I'm down there in the skelly pit. But if you want to, there we go. See, the shovel just fixed itself. It's repaired now. That's just the way you can repair your tools and your hotbar when you're mining out all this stuff. I'm going to switch to the axe. Hopefully we'll pick up a little bit. It doesn't guarantee that's what it's going to fix. It could be fixing my armor. But you see, the pick that I have will just keep repairing itself. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how mending works. Alright. But yeah, let's say I've got mending on all my armor. Some of that experience is going to go to fix that. It's random, so it might fix my helmet twice in a row, then my chest piece, and then my pickaxe, etc. This little pile of coal, and that's just But it's good though. Like I said, I want to take a bunch over there anyway. It's a good way to get experience and emeralds. But especially since it's like the first trade for smiths. As you go up through the first two tiers, it can advance their skill level really quickly. So when I went down in the mine, normally what I try to do is, for stuff like this, iron, copper, is use silk touch. Just bring it back and just do exactly what you see me doing here. There we go, hatchet's fixed up. I could even switch to the sword and start trying to fix that up a little bit. But, I didn't see any changes, but like I said, it could have been on my armor. Honestly, yeah, that's more than I still got other stuff I need to bring over. 45, y'all. So a lot of that is fighting mobs, but also a lot of cows were killed, a lot of pigs were killed. The breeding gives you experience too. Cooking the baked potatoes, cooking up my materials. Like I said, that's what the switches are for, to get that experience out of the machines. So, yeah, it's definitely starting to pack up there. Alright, so leave you. Now, I got a guy that trades potatoes. Patats. And I really just don't think I have very many over there. I got bone meal over there and potatoes planted, so I could always just insta-crop it. But and then I've got my hay trader. And I want to get some iron. Man, I really... The other thing I do want to, like I said, I've never had one work out successfully, unfortunately. But I would like to get an iron golem farm going. You know, I'm an idiot. I could have just brought all that in. Whatever. Nothing. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to get was a bunch of sticks. For future trades with a Fletcher. However, I'm really excited about doing this, you guys. Because normally, if you've watched the series, you know I've been running around in my Frostwalker boots. But wait a minute. Where are the Frostwalker boots? Haha! That's right. I finally took some time, made some rockets out of the gunpowder I'd accrued from killing all the creepers. Jeepers creepers. And watch how quickly we can get over to the village. Up. Drift on over. Whee. What's up, guys? Did you miss me? I know y'all didn't miss me. I don't even need y'all anymore. There's no butcher here. and I don't plan on having a butcher here, so